And we are finally on our last page of our packet. Yay! Number 97 says dilate the figure by a scale factor of 4, so I'm going to circle that right away, with the origin as the center of dilation. What are the vertices of the image? And graph the dilation on the coordinate plane. That's where some of you guys kind of missed on your test. I noticed some of you guys didn't actually graph it, so make sure you're reading your directions fully through. So the first thing what I'm going to do is actually list the coordinates of the original figure. So I'm going to look here. These are going by ones as well as the y-axis. So they're all counting by 1. So A is going to be 1, 2. Point B, 1, 5. Make sure you're writing your coordinate points in parentheses as well, or it's just 2 numbers you're listing. C is 5, 5. And D is 5, 2. Now I'm going to apply this scale factor of 4, which means I multiply both the x's and the y's parts of my coordinate by 4. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So 4, 8 is my new A prime. B prime should be 4, 20. C prime should be 20, 20. And D prime should be 28. Now if you guys brought this up to me as you're working on these, which I'm happy to see you guys are really far before the break, that this graph, this piece of graph in our packet here doesn't really go to 20. So what I'm going to have you guys do is just kind of estimate where you put them. There's one for sure that you can put on there properly. So make sure you put that one on there correctly. But as you're actually graphing these, just be as accurate as you possibly can on this. So I'm going to scoot this up just a little bit because I'm actually going to be going pretty far up on this page. So my first point, A prime, is going to be 4, 8. And that's the only one that's really going to be on here, but make sure you label it A prime. So I know that's A prime. B prime is 4, 20. Now, it's going to be in line with A. I'm going to say 20 is about here. B prime. Now, C prime is 20, which is, I'm just going to say out here, 20. Make sure it's even with B prime. There's C prime, and then D prime, 28. So this is kind of just an estimation of where they would be. Connect these points as straight as you possibly can. If there's one like this on your test and you really want to, a ruler, totally okay with me. As accurate as you want to make it, just make sure I can tell where these points are. That's why I want you guys to label them. So that's what your new dilated figure should look like according to the coordinates we found using our scaling factor of 4. Now 98 is indirect measurement, and I think this probably is the most difficult subject we really talked about. The other stuff's a little bit older, so we really needed a bit of a refresher, but overall I think indirect measurement just in general is harder to learn. So I'm going to kind of go through this a little bit with you guys. It says, Julie wants to know the width of the pond on her grandpa's farm. She drew the diagram and labeled it with measurements she made. The triangles in the diagram are similar. How wide is the pond? So now I know my final answer should be the pond is blank meters wide. Okay, since M is meters here. Now, indirect measurement is finding the measurement of something using other measurements you actually know. So I used different examples of maybe using my height and my shadow and trying to find the height of a flagpole, knowing its shadow, kind of like setting up a proportion is really what we're going to be doing here. And I know this seems a little strange and it's hard because we need to know corresponding sides. So what I like to do is I'm just going to flip this triangle up. This first triangle right here that I kind of circling right here, I'm going to flip that around and just make it look almost a little bit easier for us to see. And this is still 12 meters. I'm not changing anything. I'm just changing the way it looks here. So maybe I can see what sides are really proportional or what sides are really corresponding sides and make it a little bit more obvious for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a proportion and I'm going to go this small triangle to the big triangle, small triangle to big triangle. So I'm going to put 12 meters over x meters equals, so I started with this small one, so I'm going to go with the small one again, 18 meters over 42 meters. Now, to solve for this x, I'm going to do what we've normally been doing, and we're going to do just nice, easy cross products. So 18x is going to go right here, and 12 times 42, which is 504. So we would do our nice 32 over 12, or times 12. We find it to be 504 when we're done. So So 504 equals 18x. Now again, we want to solve for x, so what we're going to do is just divide both sides by whatever's connected to our variable, which in this case is 18. Top dog in the house, so 504 inside the division house, 18 on the outside. 18 goes into 52 times, end up getting 36 here, 14 left over, bring down that 4. 18 goes into 144, and even 8 times. So I have 28 equaling x. Now again, that is our final answer, but we need to make sure we write it in a complete sentence, complete thought. So I'm going to write, the pond is 28, and again, we use our units, so meters wide. And we are done with that problem there. Last problem, and then we are done with these lovely packets. It says a model of a house was built using this scale, 15 inches to 25 feet. Remember, that is one of the 3 ways we can write a ratio. If a window in the model is 1.5 inches wide, how wide is the actual window? So I'm trying to find actual window. So again, I'm going to set up a proportion. So for 5 inches in this model stands for 25 feet. And I know in the model, this window is 1.5 inches. So I want to find out how many feet. So I'm going to put x feet here. And again, to solve for this x, like we normally do, is just finding the cross products, solving for our variable. So 5 times x, 5x equals 25 times 1.5. Remember, line up your digits, not your decimals. And you end up getting 37.5. Make sure you show all of your multiplication out here. 37.5. Now I want to solve for that x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Those 5's cancel out. I end up getting x to equal 37.5 on the inside of that division house, 5 on the outside, top dog in the house, remember that. 5 goes into 37 7 times, 35 there, 2, 5, bring up that decimal right away. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So x equals 7.5. Now that is the correct answer there, but we need to make sure, again, write it in complete sentence, complete thought. So it says, how wide is the actual window? Just restate the question. The window is actually 7.5 feet wide. And you are done with that question, and you are done with this packet. Make sure you bring this packet done, completed, on when we get back from break. If you guys still have any questions, star them. Make sure we talk about them before our final. You guys are going to do fine. I'm not worried. But make sure you bring any questions, concerns you may have. So when we're kind of reviewing before our semester final, we get everything cleared up. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your break, and I look forward to seeing you guys.